Welcome, folks, to a Lost in the Groove podcast, the Shin Dig Variety Show, a podcast about society and culture, discussing topics that we are dealing with right now and the changes that are coming. So with that, let's start today's topic. Mike, take it away, man.
So this is an interesting one, and I definitely found it really fascinating. Based on our conversation, we were talking about podcasting, the form of free expression and distribution.
Basically, what we're doing right now. Yeah, this is podcasting.
Yeah. I mean, just the freedom that it provides to be able to share ideas and thoughts, and to have that kind of distribution method. You had done some research. You came up with in 2018 we were at 500,000.
I didn't do this. I didn't do the research. The Joe Rogan team did the research. So yeah.
No, not what I meant. But it's good that we give credit where it's due. Like you had discovered this research that we're 500,000 podcasters by 2018, and in less than 2-3 years we're at currently 2 million, and you and I happen to be part of that 2 million. Yeah. And it's just fascinating to see that growth. I mean, it quadrupled in just 2.5-3 years. It could be very well because of people being not able to go to work, trying to figure out a way to express themselves artistically.
I mean, I also feel like podcasts can be very entertaining. They can be very thrilling, and they can also be very educational. I remember I was in the city. This is kind of where podcasts kind of took off. A lot of people, they got to work in the morning and they're on the subway, and they'll just throw on their headphones and they'll listen to a podcast. I remember this was kind of like the thing in New York, like podcasts, even like way back in 2010 was like a thing. A lot of people started getting into it, and it can be very meditative. You can find groups, you can find people that you can interact and create a discussion. That's kind of like what we're doing here. My original interpretation of a podcast was a talk show. And to be honest, I don't really like that. I like more of a podcast that is about society and culture and having real conversations and kind of creating a community.
Right.
It gets very creative and very customizable. I think that's another thing that kind of spinned off podcast is, music can be shown in so many different forms, but podcast, it's unlimited.
Well, that's the probably the reason why we have 2 million compared to just a few years ago. Just 25% of that. Or, I mean, at the end of the day, it's great that more and more people are participating. It is a form of some kind of work that can be fruitful in many ways. That's from the connections you can make, the people you can meet online, the friendships, the education, but also possibly monetizing it. And for some people, they've been able to achieve that, and it's monumental. But like I was saying, I mean, it's very well likely that we saw this explosion as people were either getting tired of their jobs, wanting to experiment with something different, seeing that, hey, the tools are all there, I can do it too now. I'm not limited.
Like, think about it. We're at a point where me and you, I mean, we could do this for a living. Like, seriously, like, it's gotten to that point where you can be a full job. Like, your job is just podcasting. And that is a reality for a lot of people. Surprisingly enough, Joe Rogan, actually, that's not his main living. He's a comedian, but he happens to do podcasts as well. But that's kind of the thing with people. Some people are activists and speakers and professors, and then they also have their podcast. So that's kind of also the other way of looking at it too. It's like, it's not just about monetization. It's about scientists, doctors, researchers, comedians, actors that want to give their own perspective. They want to
that's why I had started out with that. It's the freedom and the expression aspect, but also the reason why I ended with possible monetization, because that's not a guarantee. But what is that it can be fulfilling, it can be educational, it can be fun, it can help you connect with more people, and you have a level of freedom in what you're doing that few things can offer that in the traditional, I want to say, work environments. But ultimately, I think if we're going to talk about Joe Rogan, I believe what may have happened is that he got ostracized in Los Angeles at one of the more famous venues when Carlos Mencia was really coming up, and he was coming up fast. The argument between them was about just Carlos stealing jokes from Joe, and I think that may have made it harder for Joe, that specific thing. And we know Hollywood is very tight; they're very tight knit. That may have been something that forced him to look at a different avenue of expression, because it may have been harder to get. I want to say dates across the country. I could totally be wrong, but it's just a thought that came through my mind. Is during that time, that's what happened. He is a comedian, but if your work slows down or you're not able to get any type of venues that will support you, especially after some type of controversy like that, you're kind of left with, like, what do I do? I need to do something else.
I mean, look, also, like, if anybody has more information, or if we got anything inaccurate, like, seriously, we're the kind of people that leave your comments down. I mean, it could be negative. I'm serious. We're okay with that. We want to hear your actual real opinions.
I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't mind. Leave your comments. Dave will always respond. I will always respond. It's that's the whole point of the open discussion. But it's still great. You're doing a great job. I'm trying to do a great job, and the other 1,999,000 others are trying to do a great job in whatever their approach may be. So
yeah,
it's a positive thing.
Yeah, I mean, we have reached the end of the broadcasting time limit. No, to our overlords. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, as this helps grow our channel and the Lost and Groove family. Woo! I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.